Hello guys, this is Muntasir Rahman and in today's video I am going to talk about how to take care of your cherry shrimp. I will give you an overall guide and share everything you need to know for taking proper care of your shrimps. So this is going to be a very long guide as I will talk about each and every important steps you need to know. So please give a thumbs up to the video if you got any value from it and subscribe to my channel. So now let's get to the video. First, I will talk about the habitat, how to set it up. And the first thing you need to know is what size tank should you get. A general good rule of thumb is to get 2 or 3 shrimps per 1 gallon. So I will suggest to start with a 10-gallon tank. If you have the budget, go with a 20-gallon tank. And I always recommend shrimp keepers to get at least 10 shrimps to start their colony. It ensures that there is a good ratio of male to female so that breeding can start. So in considering all this, it is okay to go with a 10-gallon tank, I will say, but if you can go with 20-gallon tank, and it is necessary because if your shrimps start to breed and their numbers increases, you will not have to upgrade the tank right away, so we will have some time. So that's why a 10 to 20-gallon tank is the perfect size, and also the larger your tank is, the more consistent the water parameters will be, so your shrimps will be better. The next thing is plants and moss. Shrimps need plants and moss in their tank. It is absolutely necessary. It is because in nature shrimps live in places where there are lots of plants and mosses. So to imitate their natural habitat, we need plants and moss in our shrimp tank. In fact, I have made a video in my channel talking about this. So I will highly urge you to put some plants and moss in the tank. And if I talk about moss, the most basic moss is Java moss. You can choose any other moss too. The thing with Java moss is it is very basic and beginner friendly. So and you don't need to take much care of it. It doesn't need much attention, much light, much fertilizer dosage. All you need to do is take the fern and tie it with a rock or driftwood and place the driftwood on the tank, and the moss will grow over time. It doesn't need any attention at all. And some of the good plants can be Java fern, Anubias nanapetite, cryptocoryne, then Rotala rotundifolia. All these are very good options for cherry shrimp tank because they are very beginner friendly and they don't really need much attention. They don't need much light, fertilizer, carbon dioxide injection, etc. Of course, if you can provide this, the plants will do better, perform better, grow more largely. But if you can't, it's okay. I have made a video and where I talk about the best plants for cherry shrimp tank. I will urge you to watch the video in my channel. Let me tell why you need plants and moss in the tank. They are very necessary because they give the shrimps a place to hide from potential danger. As you know, shrimps are very delicate and small in size, so they are often bullied in the nature. Large fishes or other tank mates often bully them down or try to nib at them, try to hunt them. So the shrimps need a safe place to hide. Even it is very important for the babies too. The babies need somewhere they can hide and feel safe. And plants and moss are the perfect place for this. They are perfect as hiding places. Also, they grow biofilm over their leaves, which is very favorite for cherry shrimps. They love to eat this biofilm, and the complex root structure of the plants can accumulate floating food particles which the shrimps can eat later on throughout all day long. So considering all these, plants and moss are very important for a cherry shrimp tank, and I will recommend you to get as much plants and moss for them as possible. The next thing I want to talk about is substrate. Whenever talking about substrate for cherry shrimp tanks, you will need to know about two terms: inert substrate and active substrate. Active substrate is the substrates that can affect the water parameters. Mainly, active substrate lower down the pH of the water. Suppose your tank water's pH is 7. If you put active substrate there, then it will affect the pH and it will lower down the pH to around 6, which can be good, which is actually good for caridina shrimps, and cherry shrimps are not caridina shrimps, so we don't want that. For cherry shrimps we want something that won't affect the water parameters and the pH, and for that inert substrate is a great option. So for a cherry shrimp tank we will need inert substrate. Inert substrates are very cheap, and according to the owner of Flip Aquatics, you can even go bare bottom with your cherry shrimp tank. It won't be a problem. But if you want a substrate, I recommend using a substrate because substrate helps to keep plants in the tank. So if you want to go the bare minimum, then I will suggest to use pool filter scent. Pool filter scents are very cheap. You can get a whole lot of them with only a few bucks and they works just fine. Just remember to get from a good brand so there isn't much dust in the sand and you don't have to wash it for hours and hours long. And the next option is to get a good planted aquarium substrate. I will recommend Eco Complete Planted Aquarium Substrate. It is an inert substrate which is good for neocaridina shrimps like cherry shrimps. Also with a substrate like this you can plant almost any kind of plants there and they will grow very fine. So if you're thinking of a good high planted tank, then you can go with an Eco Complete Planted Tank substrate and it is perfectly fine for cherry shrimps. The next thing we need to talk about is filtration. Many of us think cherry shrimps don't need filtration or any kind of filters. It is because the thing that the cherry shrimps are so small and delicate, and if we keep them in a good planted tank, then the plants will do the job. We will not need any filter. But the thing is, it cannot be any further from the truth. Every living thing in an aquarium needs filtration. Otherwise, without any filtration, we will have to do much more maintenance work, which is actually next to impossible. So we need a filter. If you don't have any filter, then you might need to do water changes almost 2-3 times per week, which is almost impossible for us to do. Also, without a good filtration, the water quality will deteriorate very quickly. You can't keep up with the mess, the bioload of the tank, and only your plants can't cope up with the bioload either. And this is what filters do. They take care of the water quality, right? So you need a filter, and filters are very cheap. For a cherry shrimp tank, you don't need to get a canister filter at all. You can go very cheap. There are lots of options. Like for my shrimp tanks, I absolutely love matten filters. Many of us don't know about matten filters because they are not very popular, but they are a very good option for cherry shrimps. In fact, any kind of shrimp tanks. According to the owner of Flip Aquatics, he uses matten filters in almost all of his shrimp tanks and breeding tanks, and he is absolutely pleased with it, and I am too. Matten filters are great. I love them because they have a very large surface area of the filter media, and over the surface area lots of biofilm microorganisms can grow. Cherry shrimps love to eat these biofilm and microorganisms all day long. It is a very good natural food source for them. So I absolutely love this kind of filter from a cherry shrimp tank. Now the thing is, matten filters are not very much available in the stores and not many stores sell them, but you can get them from Flip Aquatics. They sell matten filters, which is quite nice. And I am not in any kind of affiliation with them. I am just recommending them because I like them and I like their products. Okay. And next, if you can't get a matten filter, you can get a sponge filter too, but I will recommend to go as large as you can, because the larger the sponge filter is, the more surface area and the filter media you will get, and a larger surface area will offer your shrimps more food, more microorganisms and more biofilm. So it will be a win-win situation for us. Personally, I like the sponge filter from Poku brand. If you go to Amazon and search Poku sponge filter, then you will get it. I like it because it has double layers, which means you can get double surface area, double biofilm growth and everything. So I absolutely love that product. I am not in any kind of affiliation with that product. In fact, I am not giving any link to my description, so don't think it otherwise. I am just suggesting them to you because I like these products for my shrimp tank. And the last option is a hang-on back filter. Personally, I don't think hang-on back filters are necessary for a shrimp tank, but if you keep other fishes with your shrimp tank, then you can keep a hang-on back filter to cope up with the extra bioload. The good thing about hang-on back filter is they come with a chamber, so you can put your customized filter media there, and within customized filter media you can perform biological filtration, mechanical filtration and chemical filtration too. So it will provide a very good filtration for the shrimp tank. Also it doesn't take up any space inside the tank, so that your shrimps and fishes can enjoy the whole space inside the aquarium. So it will be a good option, but I don't think the fact that with an hang-on back filter there is no filter media inside the tank where biofilm and microorganism can grow. So this is the downside for hang-on back filters. And the last option, as I have said, many people uses canister filter for the shrimp aquarium, but I don't think this is necessary. I think it is a bit overkill and there is no need for a canister filter in a shrimp aquarium, mostly for a cherry shrimp tank. I don't think this is necessary. So it's up to you. If you want, you can obviously get one and it will obviously give you a superior filtration, but the budget will be an option. If you have the budget, you can go. Otherwise, a matten filter or a sponge filter will be a great option for your filtration. The next thing I want to talk about is water parameters. Cherry shrimps can withstand a wide range of water parameters and temperature, but the thing is they can't endure fluctuations of the water parameters. So you need to provide an consistent parameter range. You can't allow fluctuations in the parameter. If you do, the shrimps will get stressed and it can make them sick, really sick. So we really need to try to keep our water parameters consistent. That's why I recommend to go for a larger tank, because in a larger tank it is easier to keep the water parameters consistent and in control. Now let me talk about the ranges. Firstly, the pH should be between 6.5 to 7.5. Now I know shrimp keepers have kept their shrimps in a different pH range, but all I am talking about here now is what I do for my shrimp tank and what I think has provided the best result for me. So you can do research and see what others are talking. This is just my recommendation. Okay, so the pH should be between 6.5 to 7.5, and the GH, which stands for general hardness, it indicates the amount of calcium and magnesium dissolved in the tank water. It should be between 6 to 8 ppm. ppm means parts per million. And the next thing is KH, carbonate hardness. It measures the stability of the pH in the tank water. The older the tank is, the lower the KH value will be and the pH will be more stable. I know I am talking much chemistry now. I don't want to get into the deep nitty-gritty stuff. I am just mentioning the water parameters you need to look out for. For KH, you can try to go for 1 to 4 ppm. Okay, and you can measure all this with the respective water testing kit. I will talk about that later. And the next parameter you should check is the TDS. TDS stands for total dissolved solids. It measures the total dissolved molecules in the water except for the water molecules. So it means that how much other particles are dissolved in the tank water. Typically I check TDS to know if my tank needs a water change or not. If the TDS value is between 150 to 250, then it's okay. If the value exceeds that range, then the tank needs a water change and I will do a quick partial water change and everything will be fine. The last thing is temperature. Now let me say again, temperature is cherry shrimps can withstand a wide range of temperature. It is not a problem for them. The thing we need to do is provide a consistent temperature. I think the ideal range is between 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Many people say it is 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, but personally I have seen that shrimps do better around 73 degrees Fahrenheit, and they breed the most qualityful offspring at that temperature range. Now we need to talk about the feeding. The feeding can be divided in three different parts. The first part is algae and biofilm. Algae and biofilm is something that you do not need to give a headache about. They grow naturally in the aquarium, and cherry shrimps eat certain types of soft algae. They don't eat hard algae or thread algae or hair algae or spot algae that grows on the glass. So you can't expect to clean them of all the algae, but they do eat a certain amount of algae, and also they love biofilm. As I have said before, biofilm is the slimy stuff, slimy green stuff that grows inside your aquarium, over the rocks, substrate and leaves of the plants. Cherry shrimps just love to eat those biofilm, and biofilm and algae forms a staple portion of their diet. In fact, when I am cleaning my aquarium, I leave the tank glass unscraped, especially the backside of the glass unscraped, because that portion of the glass grows biofilm over, and my cherry shrimps can enjoy a good source of biofilm at all time. That's why I keep at least one side of the glass unscraped. I don't scrape the glass off. And this is all about algae and biofilm. You don't need to do anything to grow them. They should grow naturally. The next thing we need to think about is providing the shrimps with a very good commercial shrimp food. This is because algae and biofilm can't provide them all the nutrition and minerals that your shrimp should need, and that's why for their proper growth we need to provide them with a good commercial shrimp food. There are lots of food in the market. Personally, I like Vector AE. I love it for various reasons. The first reason is the shrimp foods that come in pellet form. When you provide that to the tank, mostly the adult shrimps will swamp all over it. The baby shrimps will not get any chance to eat the food. So as a result, the baby shrimps are left uneaten, right? But with Vector AE, it comes with a powdered form food. All you need to do is take up the required amount of food, place it in a container and fill the container with tank water, then mix the water well and pour down the water in the tank. In this way, the food particles spread all over the tank, so the baby shrimps as well as the adult shrimps can enjoy the food and nothing is left over uneaten. Every shrimp can enjoy these foods. Also, Vector AE promotes good color of the cherry shrimps. They promote good health growth, and they offer every bit of nutrients and minerals that your shrimps will need. There are also many other foods in the market. You can try them out. Personally, I like Vector AE for my shrimp tanks, and my cherry shrimps love it too. The next thing we need to talk about is the tank mates. Now, I have made a video entirely on tank mates before on my channel. You can check it out. And personally, I think if you want to breed your shrimps and you are serious about breeding, I won't recommend keeping any fish with your cherry shrimps, because no fish is absolutely safe for shrimps. Even the most safest fish, Orthosynchus, I have seen them going after the baby shrimps. So I won't recommend keeping any other fishes in the tank if you are serious about breeding your cherry shrimps. You can keep snails. I have kept Malaysian trumpet snails in my cherry shrimp tank, and snails are a great tank mate to keep with shrimps. They create a good ecological balance in the tank, but I don't think you should keep any fish. If you want to, and it is something you really want, then I will suggest something like very small neon tetras or small plecos and small bottom dwellers, any fish that is very peaceful, not aggressive or temperamental. Any fish, and you need to avoid any fish that has a big mouth that can feed the shrimp in one gulp, etc. Avoid any fish that is very aggressive, temperamental or territorial. We should stay away from this type of fishes. The safest bet is to keep your shrimps only in a shrimp only tank. a tank dedicated for your shrimps only. The last thing we need to talk about is breeding. If you have done everything right and set up your shrimp habitat the correct way, then you don't need to do anything else for breeding. Your shrimps will start to breed right away when they are ready, and you should see baby shrimps swarming over the tank very soon. One thing is, if you are having a hang-on back filter in your tank, then you should do some precautionary step. There should be an inlet of the filter in the aquarium where the inlet sucks up the tank water and sends it to the chamber. Now you need to cover the inlet with a thin layer of filter media or foam or sponge, something like that, because otherwise the inlet can suck up the baby shrimps and they can get sucked into the chamber, which can be very deadly for the baby shrimps. So as a precautionary step, if you are having baby shrimps in the tank, then you should cover the inlet of the hang-on back filter with a thin layer of sponge or foam. It will just keep your baby shrimps safe. And for the babies, keep lots of plants and moss in the tank. It is always better to keep plants and moss. So if you follow these things, then you should see lots of shrimps in a very quick amount of time, and the offspring quality will be great too. One thing I have forgot to talk about is the substrate color. I always recommend to keep a dark colored substrate in the shrimp tank. There is a reason why. Shrimps are very good at camouflaging. In the wild, they camouflage with their surroundings so that they can be undetected by the potential threats, other fishes. When their body color gets matched with the surrounding, the fishes and potential threats, they can't detect the shrimps, so the shrimps stay safe and not get eaten, right? So this is the natural instinct. And when we keep shrimps in a tank, if the substrate is light color, the shrimps try to match their body color with the substrate, so they don't show off their true dark potential color. They try to keep their body color dim and light, which results in a very light colored shrimp, which we don't want, right? So we want to keep a dark colored substrate, so that to imitate the color of the substrate, the shrimps try to show off their true potential dark rich color, which we always want. That's why I always recommend to keep a dark colored substrate in the aquarium. So that's it guys, I have tried to talk about everything your cherry shrimp needs in their tank and everything you should do to take proper care of your shrimps. If you have liked the video and got any value out of it, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more future videos. And lastly, I have written a care guide on cherry shrimps where I have talked much detailed about all of these steps, and I have written much more information that you should know to keep your shrimps safe and healthy. If you want to know more about that, you can check out my guide. I will put the link in the description box below. So that's it guys, stay safe, stay healthy, take care, bye.